not only the copyright system. Not at all based on copyright.
स्टार जी सब भी इसमें रूपर्ट मर्डॉक का नेटवर्क का इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो इन लार्ज मीडिया एम्पायर्स के लिए कॉपीराइट क्रिटिकल है
which is the sort of early predecessor to copyright.
I want to call them. Traditionally in copyright law, the target
of copyright in a sense, etc. So yes, they have powers.
Well, the legislative process in the United States surrounding copyright on the lawyers to go and push Congress year in and year out for new copyright law. Put pressure on if you're a copyright owner and the interest to push in Washington for copyright law.
After copyright for all forms of creation.
So with regard to copyright, the first thing I'd say is that there have been a number of historical periods where copyright gets foregrounded. Copyright is used to enforce social ends and social control, but in my lifetime,
some of which has been passed, all of which has really pushed for more copyright.
Copyright became a big topic of conversation in the 70s when we revised the Copyright Act in the United States. That's when you suddenly start seeing copyright notices all over the place.
It has been a part of the one-way ratchet for more copyright.
Hugely increased consciousness of what copyright's all about.
It's been the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which basically gave copyright owners...
A lot of people got a sense that copyright was an issue to be concerned about. Big issue, DRM. Is going to foreground copyright as a consumer issue. I think people are far too concerned about copyright, actually.
By the way, with copyright, which we haven't really gotten around to.
The problem is that we're all thinking about copyright to the point that it paralyzes us.
Independent film festivals, and when they try to distribute the film and try to get, copyright.
After all, there was no international copyright law.
And in many, many ways, I'd like to see us a little less concerned about copyright.
That have been passed to extend criminal liability for copyright infringement.
Permissions from the different owners of copyright.
Traditionally, copyright infringement has just been a civil matter.
Most of the decisions about the copyright regime under which we're going to live.
If a copyright owner catches you doing something wrong,
have already been made by large copyright holders, by the culture industry.
Well, both the copyright and patent laws.
The copyright legislation.
Well, in recent years, copyright owners have not been satisfied with that. The copyright owner, if you could crack down on the people.
The patent laws and the copyright laws are basically about 17th and 18th century conditions. Basic difficulty that presents itself that the law of copyright is meant to deal with.
And ultimately, the copyright owners persuaded Congress.
The big problem isn't going to be the copyright law. I think that a lot of the...
Which is what the copyright law really is. It's a grand Jeffersonian sort of an idea. So, in that sense, copyright law takes a rise.
But it actually harms copyright owners. It's trying to connect copyright infringement with terrorism. What you're seeing is increasingly an effort by copyright owners.
So in that sense, copyright becomes, through the work for hire doctrine, copyright becomes the organizational, organic document. Then copyright has to become a law about control. And you begin to get, as in the DMCA or the European Copyright, or the European Union Copyright Directive, you begin to get para-copyright law. But that's nothing to do with where copyright started. It's nothing to do with what made copyright law effective.
Theater, narrative, stories didn't begin with copyright or end
in changing the way that we think about copyright and changing the way that the laws